What is up, guys? My name is Luca. Welcome back to Luca's Kitchen, and today we're making tiramisu. Alright, making tiramisu is going to be really easy because all you need is 5 ingredients. We need 4 eggs, 100 grams of sugar, 300 grams of ladyfinger cookies, 500 grams of mascarpone cheese, and 300 milliliters of coffee. Now, the items that you're going to need are going to be really easy as well, because all you need is 2 large bowls, a hand mixer. If you don't have a hand mixer, you can use a regular whisk. And this one right here, a spatula that we're going to use at the end. This part is optional, and I'll show you guys at the end why it's optional. And then letters are optional as well. We're just going to make it a little bit special. Alright, first thing we're going to do is crack all the eggs, separating between the white and the yolk. We're not going to need the white at the moment, so we're just going to put it aside, and we're going to start working on this. Now this is 50 grams of sugar. We had to separate it. Remember I said it was 100 grams? 50 grams goes in the egg yolk and 50 grams goes in the egg white. You're going to add that there, and you're going to start mixing this all together. Now we're going to add the mascarpone cheese. We're going to add the mascarpone cheese just a little bit at a time, because if you add it all at once, it could have a chance of being too liquidy, and you don't want to be liquidy at all. You want it to be a really firm, sturdy. It's about that much. You don't really need a lot. Just kind of mix that in there. Once it looks like it's blended in as much as you can, then just go ahead and add the rest a little bit at a time. Like I said, this is the most important part. Now that's how firm you want it to make it look. Basically, now next thing you want to do is clean these two, because we're going to need it for the egg whites. Now we're going to go ahead and mix the egg whites with the sugar. Now the only difference with this is you want to work it the same way as you worked with the mascarpone cheese. The sugar will break the egg if you go ahead and mix it all at once. The reason I said to rinse those off now is because it's going to be a pain to clean them later when they're all dried up on it. Now, this is obviously ready. You can tell it's ready because it's firm. And another good way to tell is you flip it upside down. It goes nowhere. We go ahead and grab the other mixture, and you're going to go ahead and add the egg white mixture to the yolk mixture, a little bit at a time. Also, guys, another way to tell if that white mixture is ready is it kind of looks like, if you kind of look at it like that, it kind of looks like that marshmallow fluff. After this is done. One thing that you can do that is optional, rum. If you do want to add rum, you can add it either to this mixture after you're done with it, or you can add it to the coffee. That part, either or, optional. What we're going to do is start with a really small amount. Just going to put a really thin layer just to kind of coat it, kind of as if you were doing like a butter spray to make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom. Because if you do put the cookie by itself, it's not necessarily going to stick, but it's a higher chance that it will. Now, these are ladyfinger cookies. This is what I use usually every time. And the only reason I use these is because the original recipe you can have your own optional cookie as long as it's one that the coffee can easily absorb. Instead of putting a thin layer, I'm going to put a much thicker layer on this part. Because this is basically most of what the tiramisu is about. And layer number 2 of cookies. Add the last layer, at least for me. Obviously, if your pen is a lot deeper, then you can go ahead and add a 3rd layer or 4th layer if your pen is deep enough to do 4 layers. If you're like me and really bad about leveling everything, this helps because it should just easily do that. I'm getting really bad at this. Alright guys, now there's one final step, cocoa powder. That's about 50 grams. If you are going to eat the tiramisu right away, go ahead and put the cocoa powder on top of it. But if you're going to wait, just go ahead and put the cocoa powder on top of it when it's time to serve. Because if you leave the cocoa powder in the fridge on top of the tiramisu, it's going to thicken, and when you're going to serve it, it's not going to taste as good. Let's go ahead and put the cocoa powder on top of the tiramisu. And we got the letters in here. And like I said, you guys can do it. Don't have to put, obviously, my name on top of it, but do however you want to. Because it takes the letters off. you've seen this, we're going to go ahead and cut into it and see how the inside turned out. And now that we're done with this, I will put it in the description below. I will put in the US measurements and European measurements. I know I kind of go back and forth between the two in the video, so I will have both in the description below. I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys next week. See ya.